Okay, imagine this. You're in a packed coffee shop, right? Or maybe like a really loud party. There's noise everywhere, chatter, music, clinking glasses. But somehow, you can just zero in on one single conversation, hear every word. That's something we do pretty easily. It's called the cocktail party effect. But here's the big question, the really fascinating challenge for AI people. How do we get machines to pull that off? How do you teach an AI to pick apart all those different voices, different sounds from this one messy recording? That's basically speech separation.
Yeah, and it's not just, a neat party trick for AI. It's actually fundamental for so many things we use now. Think voice assistants, transcription services, even smart speakers, speech separation often happens first. It's pre-processing. And if that step isn't good, well, the accuracy of the whole system can really suffer.
Totally. And it feels like research in this area has been hitting like two major roadblocks for a while now. First, getting these AI models to be, well, both really good at separating sounds and efficient enough to run quickly on, say, your phone. It needs to be fast, right? Low latency.
Yeah, exactly. Instantaneous, almost. And that connects right to the second hurdle. We haven't had great training data. The data sets just weren't realistic enough. I mean, we have some powerful models. TF-GridNet is one people talk about, performs well. But the computational cost, huge. And the standard data sets, things like WSJ02 mix or even WHAMR, they often miss the mark. They might lack diverse background noise or realistic echo reverberation or how conversations actually overlap, which is usually pretty random.
Okay, so that sets the stage perfectly for what we're diving into today. There's this really promising new approach called Tiger. That's TIGER, stands for Time Frequency Interleaved Gain Extraction and Reconstruction Network. Bit of a mouthful. And alongside it, a new, much more realistic data set called EchoSet. So our mission today, let's unpack Tiger and EchoSet, figure out how they tackle these challenges, what makes them different, and what it all could mean for the future of processing audio. So yeah, the core task again, untangling different sounds from one recording, the machine version of that cocktail party thing. And you mentioned even with progress, there are these stubborn problems deep learning hasn't totally solved yet.
Absolutely. Two main things stand out for, real-world use. First, efficiency. Like I said, models like TF-GridNet, great results, state-of-the-art even, but they're just too heavy, computationally speaking. Too many calculations, too large, hard to put on a small device. There were attempts like TDANet aiming for lightweight models, but they often struggled to really use all the information hidden in the frequency details of the sound, which is pretty crucial.
Okay, efficiency is one. What's the second?
The data sets. The data we train and test these models on, it's often not, real enough. Take WSJ02 mix. Often it's just two voices perfectly overlapping, no background noise, no echo. That's not reality, is it?
Not my reality, definitely.
Right. So models trained on that don't generalize well. They fail in noisy places. Even data sets that do add noise and reverb like WAM, sometimes they don't capture the full complexity. Like how sound bounces differently off a curtain versus a concrete wall, or how a couch might block sound. These acoustic details matter, and they weren't really diverse enough in the existing training data.
Which is where Tiger comes roaring in, I suppose. A new, lightweight model aiming for that realistic performance.
Exactly. And the core idea behind Tiger is pretty clever. It uses what they call a band split strategy. Basically, it leverages knowledge about frequencies, like knowing human speech mostly lives in certain frequency ranges, to focus its processing power. This dramatically cuts down the computation needed.
So it's like intelligently ignoring parts of the sound that aren't likely to be speech.
Sort of, yeah. Or prioritizing the important bands. Think of it like an audio engineer focusing the equalizer on the vocal track. The whole Tiger process, the pipeline, is quite neat. First, it takes the mixed audio and converts it using STFT, short-time Fourier transform. That gives it a detailed map showing what frequencies are present at each moment in time, like musical notes on a score.
Okay, got the map. Then
the band split module does its thing, dividing that map into different frequency subbands, some wider, some narrower, often based on importance for speech. These separate bands then go into the separator part, which uses these special blocks called FFI blocks, frequency frame interleaved blocks. And finally, there's a band restoration module and an inverse STFT step to put it all back together, reconstructing the clean speech for each speaker.
okay, I want to pause on that separator bit. Those FFI blocks sound key. What's special about them?
Right, they are. So an FFI block actually has two main parts working together. There's the multi-scale selective attention MSA and the full frequency frame attention F3A.
MSA. Multi-scale.
Yeah.
Sounds like it looks at things big and small.
Precisely. The MSA module enhances the important sound features by looking at them at different scales, like zooming in and out on the sound details. It captures both local, fine-grained stuff and the broader context. And then it fuses this information. Studies showed if you remove MSA, the performance just tanks, so it's critical. Plus, and this is important for efficiency, it uses way less computation compared to older methods like LSTMs or even newer ones like Mamba, while still performing really well.
Okay, that's MSA. What are the other part, F3A?
F3A, full frequency frame attention, its job is to bring information together across those different frequency bands that were split earlier. It uses self-attention, which is good at spotting long-range connections, how sounds relate to each other, even if they're separated in time. This helps build a global picture, considering both time and all frequencies together. And like MSA, tests showed F3A also works better than other structures they tried swapping in.
So it's this interplay between looking deep within bands, MSA, and then looking across all the bands, F3A.
Exactly. And the way they alternate, focusing on frequency information then time information, back and forth within that FFI block, that interleaved structure is really central. Research suggests this time frequency interleaving is better at capturing both dimensions compared to models that focus mostly on time, or mostly on frequency, and that helps make Tiger both lightweight and powerful.
Okay, that makes sense. A smart model design. But you said earlier, even a great model needs great data, right? Which brings us to the other piece of this puzzle. EchoSet. Why bother creating a whole new data set? What was missing?
Yeah, ECOSA is crucial here. It's designed specifically to bridge that gap. We talked about the gap between lab training and messy reality. It deliberately includes lots of different noise types, but more importantly, realistic reverberation. So it simulates how sound actually behaves in rooms, considering things like, is there furniture blocking the sound? What are the walls made of? Hard surfaces, soft, that all changes the echo.
So trying to capture the acoustics of real spaces.
Precisely. They built it using tools like Sound Spaces 2.0, which renders audio in 3D scenes, and Matterport 3D, which provides models of actual indoor environments. This lets them simulate reverb, sound diffraction, absorption, all based on realistic room layouts and materials. And another key thing, the speech overlap is random, not just 100% overlap or fixed percentages. It mimics how people actually interrupt or talk over each other sporadically, much more lifelike.
And did it work? Does training on EchoSet actually make models better in the real world? I mean, that's the goal, right?
That seems to be the case. The validation showed that models trained using EchoSet were significantly better at handling real-world test recordings compared to models trained on older datasets like Liber2Mix or LRS22Mix. It means EchoSet seems to do a better job preparing these models for the kind of unpredictable sound environments you actually encounter, like your chaotic kitchen example earlier.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so we have Tiger, the efficient model, and EchoSet, the realistic dataset. Now for the bottom line. How well does Tiger actually perform, especially compared to the big guns like TF-GridNet?
The results are genuinely impressive. Let's look at EchoSet first, arguably the toughest, most realistic testbed. Tiger, in its larger version, actually beat TF-GridNet on separation quality. They measured using SDR signal-to-distortion ratio improvement, basically how much cleaner the output is. Higher is better. Tiger got 14.22 dBs, while TF-GridNet got 13.73 dBs. So Tiger won on quality there.
Okay, better quality.
Yeah.
But wasn't the whole point also efficiency?
And that's the kicker. Tiger achieved that better performance while being massively smaller and faster. Compared to TF-GridNet, Tiger, large, used about 94% fewer parameters, that's the model size, and needed about 95% fewer computations, or MAX.
95% fewer computations. That's huge. What does that mean practically?
It means, for instance, processing 1 second of audio took Tiger only about a third of the CPU time compared to TF-GridNet. On a GPU is about 3/4 of the time. It also uses less memory. So it's just incredibly more efficient to run, both for training the model and for actually using it later.
Wow. So better performance and drastically lower cost. That feels like a genuine breakthrough. Does it hold up outside of EchoSet, like in other real-world tests?
Yes. Reports indicated strong performance carried over into other real-world test scenarios, too, handling complex environments with varied noise and reverb effectively. And it's not just about the numbers. Visually, if you look at spectrograms, those visual representations of sound Tiger's output looks cleaner, finer details at high frequencies, better noise reduction, less leakage between the separated sounds compared to other models.
That's really compelling. And you mentioned it wasn't just for speech.
Right. They also tested Tiger on separating sounds in movies, pulling dialogue away from music and sound effects. It showed advanced performance and efficiency there, too. That suggests it's quite versatile and generalizes well beyond just two-speaker conversations. So, summing it up, Tiger really does feel like a significant step forward. It offers this compelling package: high performance in complex, realistic conditions, but with remarkable efficiency. That combination comes from its smart design, the band splitting, the multi scale attention, the time frequency interleaving, combined with being developed and tested on a more realistic data set like EchoSet.
And the practical implications are pretty clear, aren't they? Tiger really opens doors for building powerful speech separation right into devices that don't have massive computing power. Your phone, smart speakers, maybe even hearing aids or earbuds. So here's something for you, the listener, to think about. How could this kind of efficient on-device audio understanding change your daily life? What becomes possible when AI can untangle complex soundscapes instantly, right there on your device, without needing the cloud or draining your battery? Think about clearer calls in noisy places, voice assistants that finally understand you at a loud concert, or maybe entirely new accessibility tools that just weren't feasible before because they required too much power. What possibilities do you see?